this lesson. So before I proceed with my little tutorial, let's just get used to the CAS calculator language or vocab. So you have an equation given to you, y as the subject. We call this as function form, as you can see here in the first dot point. So y equals to, say, 3x plus 4, meaning it takes the form of y equals mx plus c. Or I can give you another rule where it says y equals to a number, meaning a constant, say y equals to -3 or y equals to a half even. So with this kind of form, we call this as function form. And if it's going to be in relation form, this is when both x and y terms are on one side of the equal sign, equaling to a constant, or you're going to have an x equals graph, meaning x equals to some constant here. So basically in relation form, you can think of it as when the equation given to you, y is not the subject. Therefore, that is actually what we call as relation form. So let's just try and do both questions separately. Let's have a look at the first one. So I asked you question 1, I asked you to sketch the graph of y equals to -2x minus 8. Since y is a subject, this is in function form. So what I would like you to do is open up your graph page, Control I. Let's add a graph page. Now by default with the calculator, what you see is you see f of 1 of x equal to flash, 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 meaning please input something here. So this is what we call in function form, where f of x, meaning y, is the subject. So we're going to type in our first equation. So since f of x equals, meaning it's already y equals here, so there's no need for you to type y equals again. What you got to do is simply just type in the expression, meaning type in -2x take away 8. -2x take away 8. And then hit enter for me. Now, as you can see here, I don't have a very good view of my graph because I can't see the y-intercept. I can see the x-intercept though. So because of the default settings on your graph page. Now the highest value for y by default is only 6.67, and the lowest value by default it's only -6.67. So what you do in order for you to get the full view of your x and y intercept, we need to make some adjustments. So let's do the window settings on the screen. And in order for you to do the window settings, I would like you to, let's go start at the top, and we're going to work clockwise direction around the Cartesian plane. So double click on Y maximum, and you should see that's cursor flashes. It means that you now can edit. So how about what I'll do is let's make it a number that is nice. So let's make it as, say, 10, a little bit bigger than what's there. I would like, once you input in 10, I would like you to hit tab, and then I'll see, I'll bring you down to, say, over here when x equals to 10. So you can leave it as it is or just change it to something a little bit smaller, say 6, tab, and it'll bring you down to y minimum. So with regards to y minimum, at the moment, can you see you can't see the vertical y-intercept? So what you can do is, since if you look at the equation here, our y-intercept is at -8. So you can type in -8 as the lowest value, but I'd like to see a little bit more. So how about I go, say, -12, and then tab, and then obviously it will go to the next value, meaning what x minimum now. So you can leave it as -10 because I still can see, you know, my x-intercept nice and clear here, so we don't have to make any changes. Tab again if you want, and you'll bring back to the top. So now I have a pretty good view of my graph. What we're going to do is we're going to find the x and the y-intercept of this line. There are a couple of ways to find x and y-intercept, but I'm going to show you the most effective way of doing so. So hit menu, please. We're going to go down to number 8, where it says geometry. We're going to go across to number 1, where it says point and line, and then we're going to go down to number 2, where it says point on. So menu 8, 1, 2. Now once you hit menu 8, 1, 2, it will bring you back to the graph page. So what I would like you to do is select anywhere on the graph, click, The minute that you've clicked on your graph, you should see a pencil icon. So now let's find our x-intercept first, followed by our y-intercept. So once you've clicked on your graph with the pencil icon appearing, I would like you to use your mouse and move down to the point of interest, meaning your x-intercept. So therefore, the minute that you're at your x-intercept, can you see the calculator pops up the message intersection point? Once you see this message, what I want you to do now is click enter to lock in the coordinates. If you don't click enter, it will not lock in the x and y coordinates for the x-intercept. So this is our x-intercept, very fast. Now, stay where you are. I want you to reselect your graph again, anywhere on the graph. So I'm going to pick the point here, click. The minute I've reselected my graph, I should have another pencil icon. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to drag this pencil icon down to the point of interest, meaning your y-intercept, until you see the message intersection point. Or this is where it is. We're then going to click enter. It will lock in the coordinates for you. So here you are, x and y-intercept. X is at -4, 0, and y-intercept is at 0, -8. So this is how you sketch your graph in function form. So let's go back to question 2. So what happened if the equation given to you is not y is not the subject? So what do you do? So for instance, let's sketch this graph here. 3x take away 5y equals to 15. So if that's the case, let me just open a brand new graph page, Control I, open my graph page. So now this is by default y as a subject. I don't want that. So what you do is I want you to hit delete, and I'll say just hit delete once. The minute that you've hit delete, you should see this drop down menu. So now if you go down to number 6, it says relation, and this is where I want you to do. You can use your mouse and obviously scroll down and select relation as number 6. Alternatively, on your keypad, just hit number 6. So therefore, now we are free to type in whatever rule we want. So this is rel for relation, R-E-L for short for relation. This is the number 1. So let's type in our rule. 3x take away 5y equals to 15. 3x take away 5y equals to 15. You're free to type whatever you want. And then once you've done that, hit enter and it will graph it for you. So now can you see here the default Cartesian plane with x min, y min, x max, y max? It's fine. I don't have to make any adjustment because I can see both x and y intercept nice and clear. If that's the case, proceed to finding x and y intercept. What was it again? Menu, number 8, geometry, number 1, points and line, and number 2, point on. Anywhere on the graph, click pencil icon, drag down to the point of interest, meaning x intercept, until you see the message intersection point, click, reselect your graph, drag the pencil icon down to the next point of interest, meaning your y-intercept, until you see the message intersection point, click to lock in the coordinates. Now can you see here, I have sort of like have an overlapping, information right there. Got my y-intercept and obviously the rule. So sometimes it's really hard for you to read. So what you can do is you can drag this y-intercept in coordinates form somewhere else so that you can read it. So in order for you to do that, I would like you to hover with your handheld. It's a little bit different to my emulator here. So with your handheld, just move your mouse hovering over your y-intercept. You should see sort of like an open fist icon. And then what you're then going to do is, you see how the center of my navigation pad here, in blue, the icon, the picture has closed fist. So what you do is you then click Control, the middle button, and you should have a closed fist. So once you've done that, it should be a closed fist here. You see it? And then I'll see you then just going to drag it, somewhere like a sort of like a blank spot, and then drop it down so that you can read off. All right, so that's it. Good luck.